Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Brian Locke and welcome to Making Monday. Yeah, how is everybody doing? So today is going to be a little bit different because we're going to finish off what we were working on in the live stream on Saturday, which is unusual in itself, but also camera's pointing kind of weird. Yeah, it's probably better. Also, the fact that it's a project with no microcontroller is pretty different for me. So, yeah, we can take a look at that. And then the other thing that I'd like to look at, if we get a bit of time for it, is I made and ordered my first PCB. And we can take a look at that. And what I'd like to do as well is, it's a pretty stupid product, but I could talk about it, and I'm also probably going to start selling it on Tindy or somewhere, just, I don't know, just for a bit of fun more than anything. And what I'd like to do is build a tester for it, which I'll explain later. So yeah, that'll be our evening, I think. So hey Colin, and hey Michael, and hey Gary. So I used all your first names and not your screen names, so Chicky, Hassiter, and I Giggles. Okay, so let's take a look at my desk. Right, so this is what we were working on Saturday. It's mainly just from this end up, or this end up. So there is a 555 timer switch. Hey Leo, yeah, Tindy store. It'll probably be a while before it's up on it or anything, because I need to get the boards first. That'll be the first thing. I also need to make sure that the stuff that I buy fits in it, because it's got USB headers and they're not really that standard, so hopefully everything fits. Like it mightn't. So I might need to redesign the board when I get the USB headers if the size is wrong. So who knows, I could have 200 of a board that's useless, so we'll see how that goes. Is there any advantage? I'm not sure. Tindy do a good bit of marketing for you and stuff on Twitter and things like that, so that'd probably be the big advantage of it, I would say. I'm not too sure. Maybe going down the eBay route might be a good idea as well. Yeah, I don't know. Good question though. Yeah, so my daughter has these Christmas lights in her tent. We got her a tent in IKEA last Saturday, and we thought it'd be a good idea to put Christmas lights in the tent. And I think my wife is going to sew some Velcro to the roof of the tent so we can stick the lights up. So my daughter really likes the lights, but she leaves them on all the time, because they're just like, there's a battery pack, and this isn't the lights, but it's the equivalent to something like this. So except it has an actual case. So it's got 3 batteries, a switch, and then there's LEDs on a string. This is actually a strip, but yeah, she leaves it on all the time. So she flicks the switch and doesn't turn it off. So just rather than draining all the batteries, I thought it would be cool if we could switch them on and off using a 555 timer. So there is a circuit you can do that will turn on a 555 timer for a certain amount of time based on your resistor and capacitor values, and then we'll turn it off. So I'm using an Uno, but literally only as a power supply. Yeah. Sorry if you can hear my daughter as well. She's pretty upset about going to bed. Where should that be? Oh, yes, this is the output. Is it? No, yeah, this isn't being used at the moment. Oops. Is it? Oh yeah. Okay. No, hello Subtext, how's it going? So I have too big of a resistor value in here. I think that's 8 megs, 8 mega ohm resistor, and that seems to take like, I don't know, maybe the guts of an hour to turn it off. So I'll go through it now in a second. But so, see here, this pink LED is on, and hopefully it'll turn off now in some amount of time. Did I break it? Yeah, okay, so it turned off. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, so you see the pink LED turn back off again, and if I press this button, it kicks off the process again. Basically, the button is triggering a signal to or it's triggering pulling down. Hey, tiny LED. Is there some weird sound coming from somewhere? Good evening to everybody who's joined. Yeah, so the button is sending a trigger signal to the 555 timer, which is kicking off the process. And what's happening is that the capacitor is getting discharged when I press the trigger button, and it is slowly charging up the capacitor again based on the LED, or sorry, the resistor that I have here. So once it reaches, I think, over 2/3 charged or 2/3 of VCC, it will turn off this this LED. The output will be swapped, and yeah, so it turns off and won't come back on. Hey Sil, how's it going? Did I? Oh, sorry, I plugged. Yeah, I plugged in this. Oops. I do really need to get a power supply. I will, maybe at some stage. We'll see. Let's see. Maybe if I ever set up Patreon, that could be like the first goal: raise €20 to get a power supply. But no, I'll make one at some stage. Yeah. So this is fine. And a 555 uses very little current anyways, but my thing isn't tracking. Hey Gavin, how's it going? So the 555 uses very little current anyways, but I was hoping that I could make it completely draw no current. So when the button is pressed, it would close a transistor or something, which would trigger the circuit to turn on, and then I was hoping to keep the transistor on using the output of the 555 timer. So while that LED was on, it keeps the transistor on and keeps the power to the 555, but then when the LED turns off, it kills it. And the issue I was having on 100 euro to come visit Germany. It's an interesting proposition. Yeah, I'm sure I'll come to Germany at some stage. Yeah, so Michael, or Hassiter on the chat there, suggested that when I tried to put the output of the LED to control this transistor, it didn't work right. It floated all over the place. I like that a lot, so it's pretty great. Let me pull it up actually. Why not? What happened to my screen share? There. Okay. Just click it a second time. That's pretty good. Okay, so what Michael suggested was using an Opto Isolator. So I have a message on. Oh yes, I was like, did you send me a message on Steam? This is the message I have on Steam. Yeah. So there, Steam is gone, or the message is gone. Yeah, so Michael suggested using an Opto Isolator, and basically what an Opto Isolator is there's an LED one side and pretty much an LDR the other side, and like when the signal is going through the LED, it turns on the other side. So yeah, Banggood's links are awful. Hey Mike, how's it going? The AliExpress is the same. Like if you search for something on AliExpress, it's like just a mess. Like, so here is, I've searched for something and then clicked on the link. Probably shouldn't be bringing all of this stuff over, but it doesn't matter. So like, look at this link. It's just like, look at this crap. Alright, but then like all you actually need for the link is this part up to the question mark. Like the link will work fine with just that stuff. And when you're generating yeah, you're dead right, it's tracking more than 20%. When you're generating the affiliate links as well, you can only grab this much of it. So if I go to this product and go, okay, cool, I'll generate an affiliate link. If I grab that much, it doesn't work. It's an absolute mess generating affiliate links. Like the difference between generating the affiliate links on AliExpress and on Amazon is insane. Like, can I go to Amazon here? If I wanted to generate an affiliate link for this thing, there, that's the affiliate link there. While with AliExpress, I have to go to this, grab the specific part of the URL, then go to a different website, and then paste it in, and then have the chance that just that link isn't affiliatable or whatever. There's just some that aren't, and so then you either give up or maybe you find a different one, or you know, it's a pain. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So let's get back to the thing at hand. I've never actually used an Opto Isolator, so this would be a good time to use it. But what he was also suggesting was that I don't need I was going to have a transistor to do the powering of the circuit, and then a separate like MOSFET to power the LEDs. But actually, there's no point in me drawing it because Michael has already drawn it like perfectly. Let's bring up Twitter. I find Twitter hard to use at times. Here we go. So let's bring over Michael's tweet. So you can see here, this one here. So we've got VCC coming into the 555 timer, and there's ground down here, and the ground is being switched by this N channel MOSFET. So hey, thanks for the host, the other Lone Star. So yeah, So when you press the button, it completes the circuit. The 555 timer will turn on. So the LED in this in my board is on. Michael then has it going through a 1K resistor and going through the optocoupler, which will then pass the VCC onto the MOSFET and keep the thing open, and it will also pass this output to these LEDs as well. So yeah, pretty nice, I would say. I think that might be wrong, but other than that, I think it's good. It shows the output being the output of the 555 power in the LEDs. I think it should be just the VCC line, but other than that, I think that's good. Yeah, so let's go get to it. It's pretty similar to what I have. I just need to do this, or maybe I should build it on a new breadboard. I don't know, just to be a bit cleaner about stuff. Maybe. No, it'll be fine. Let me these buttons are hard to plug out. Oh, the one LED will, hey, there Lone Star. I saw on Twitter that you got your LED battle bots working. I'm automatically shutting off a LED strip of my daughter's. She leaves them on all the time, so I would rather have just one button that turns on the LED and then turns it off after a certain amount of time. The time isn't even that important, just like 10 minutes or something would be good. So I might actually also take this opportunity to swap in it's a 500K linear pot, so that should give us a decent enough range to like mess around with. It mightn't be just quite long enough, and we could add another resistor in series with it, but I'd say what I'll probably end up doing is just getting a bigger linear pot, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I actually have a lot of these, so I might just put in 2 linear pots, so like it has the potential of being up to 1 meg. I'll take a look at it in a minute still. I feel like I need to make some progress. So yeah, so let's go back to the big screen. Okay. I have no idea how this works, or what are the pins for this. Okay. Meow, meow, meow. Yeah, so let's take a look at that anyways. What is the pins of what did I say it was? It's PC817. PC817 data sheet. I guess I could have just looked at the pin out. That probably would have worked too, but I'm sure we'll get it here. Yeah, so we've got the dot up here, and it's the anode mark. So anode. So I'm guessing the anode mark is my input, and the other side. Oh, sorry, here it is. 1 to 2. Okay, I would have probably done that wrong. Anode, cathode, emitter, collector. Okay. Cool. So let's plug that in. Looks like I still need a resistor, which is fine. I guess that makes sense, because it depends on what voltage you have or whatever. So let's go back to the big screen, and I'll bring up that diagram as a little screen. Yeah, that should do. Oh, this one is better. So the side with the dot on it is 1. It's pretty far from the circuit, but it'll be fine. Also, I may as well, if you don't have an emitter, the Opto, yeah, the resistor, yeah, will burn out. That is fine too. I have 1K here that'll surely do the trick. So if that is my anode, doesn't really matter, I guess. There is my 1K resistor for that. I need my DuPont cables. Alright, so this is going to get powered by the same thing that's currently powering the LED. Alright, that's Michael's thing. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so what was powering the LED? I can just grab from here. Take out this little I had a diode in there. I wasn't really doing anything anyways. Okay, so that's fine. That's the input to our anode of the optocoupler. So let's, if we take a look at this again, so then the other side of that is just going directly to ground. So we can pull that down to ground. Okay, that's that done. I can actually just power this LED directly from the power at the moment, and we'll see how that works out. Okay, and then the other thing that we need to do is, oh yeah, our button should be closing the transistor now, rather than triggering the 555. So we want it to turn on as soon as we press the button, basically. I think that should cover us. No, we need 5 volts going into the button. I think that should be us. Right, do you think this is gonna work? So we have our 5 volts coming in. So when we press this button, it's gonna come over here, trigger this transistor. It's not a silly question. I was getting some weird floating issues when I was using the transistor. I think that what this just will do is isolate that the output. I'm not actually 100% sure of what was going on, but like when I had the output of the 555 timer connected to this transistor, the circuit was on just all the time, even when I hadn't pressed the button. I did have a resistor in there. Maybe it mightn't have been 10k, but I definitely had 1k. This isn't working anyway, so. Oh, sure, I haven't connected up the this at all, so that would probably make sense. Let's go back to our little diagram here. So the anode is the one on the same side as the optocoupler. Oh yeah, maybe I just didn't have a big enough resistor. I don't know. I would have thought that I would have gotten away with the 1k. So if I'm using the same voltage, maybe I don't need the optocoupler. And this isn't working anyway, so even when I press the button, it's not working. So we've made a mistake somewhere. Not 100% sure where though. So we have our voltage coming in, and we have our ground coming in. When that transistor turns on, it should connect this ground to this ground, and that ground is the one that is the ground for all of the... Yeah, not sure what's going on there now. Ugh. I had the resistor in the wrong leg for the LED. Okay, so we have the button is closing the transistor, and which is providing power to the circuit, but the output of the 555 timer is not keeping the circuit on. So that's kind of back somewhat where we were. Okay. So Lone Star, you are thinking if I just go straight with a 10k resistor here, I can draw out what I have at the moment, and I have a bad version of it there, but I can draw out a nicer version. So we have our 555 here. He's connected to 5 volts there. Ground of the 555 is connected to... What is it connected to? It's connected to the output of... oops, I'm going off screen. It's connected to the output of a transistor, which is connected to ground. So we have a button, it's getting kind of small in there, connecting that to 5 volts, and so that's working okay. So I press this button, closes this transistor, and then it is providing power here. So like say I also, like the LED at the moment is just here somewhere, for want of a better spot for it, so it's just connected directly to power. It's not doing anything with the actual 555 timer. Current limiting resistor to gate and a bigger resistor from the gate to ground to prevent floating. A bigger gate from the gate to the ground. Yeah, that could be it. I didn't have a. I only had one resistor on it. I'd be happy enough to lose the Opto Isolator if I'd be happy enough to lose the Opto Isolator if we didn't need it. So npm transistor. Excuse me. Excuse me. Alright, so what you're saying is that I need a bigger current limiting resistor on the gate, which is the base, right? And then a bigger the first resistor prevents the transistor sinking. The more current than the source can provide. So which legs of the transistor do I need to put them on? The gate is the base, is it? Connector, base, emitter. Yeah. Gate and base, same thing. And then the source is the collector. So the current limiting resistor to the gate and bigger resistor from the gate to ground. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I get you. So it's just that it should float to off. Yeah, I get you. Sorry, I kind of didn't know what you were talking about there. Okay, so I have a 10K here. And I will float him to ground. Okay. I need him there. But then the Opto Isolator, I'll plug him out. And I'll plug the output of... Okay. So do you see there... This is what I was getting the last day. Hey, Cian, how's it going? Not a huge amount now. So the circuit is on there, even though I haven't pressed the button or anything. It just turned on, and it's staying on as well. So like that transistor is being switched. Then if I plug out that, it's back to only being using the button. So it's definitely the 555 timer, even though it shouldn't have ground at the moment. Like that LED is not lit up right now because I've this plugged out. When I plug that back in, it turns it on, which seems weird to me, but I don't know. So maybe I have... Oh, hold on. The Opto Isolator I have wrong. I'm plugging it into ground. I should be plugging it into positive. It's not working, but I am I using it to source current or sink current? The I actually don't know. So the load is at the emitter, so should it be at the collector? Oh yeah, that's probably what's wrong, is it? That the collector, I have them plugged in the wrong way around. I think you might have gotten it. Come on, turn off. Turn off. Turn off. Come on. Yes! Good job. The other Lone Star will hold on to you. So, the other Lone Star pointed out that I was doing it wrong here with this transistor. I'll draw it. Well, I don't really need to draw it better. I had it like this. So on my collector, can I get you into that a bit better? Yeah. So on my collector up here, I had ground. That was my pure ground signal, and then on my emitter I was connecting ground to or the 555 to the emitter of it, which was connecting those two together. But that is the wrong way to do it. I should be sourcing the current through that, as in like the source of the current should be above it, not below it. So yeah, so what I ended up changing it to is that we got our 555 here. So just copying the transistor part of it, this is what it should look like, and that's what I've changed it to now, and now it's working. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out to me. And now let's try it without the Opto Isolator, because if I can get like a simple version of this working, I actually have a few places around the house where this would be useful to me. It's after lighting up though. So I still have that same problem, whatever's going on there. So maybe I do need the Opto Isolator. I need to figure out why I need it though, because I don't rightly know. So that's it, plugged in with the Opto Isolator, and yeah, it works perfectly when the Opto Isolator is on. But when I connect the output of the 555, yeah, so let me draw out the circuit properly, everything. So I have an LED. That's the worst resistor ever, but that's cool. And that's going to no, that's not going to that ground. It's going to this ground here, my fake ground basically. We've got a button, and that's connecting to 5 volts, and then there's also a resistor here. Just call that OR. So at the moment I have Opto Isolator in place here, which is doing this. I don't know what the symbol for an Opto Isolator is, so let's presume it's that. Ground, also this fake ground, and then the other side of it is coming from 5 volts and going in here. don't see why either. So I thought I should be able to just take this wire, which is the output, which, you know, we were looking at with the LED earlier. So when the circuit is on, that output is high. I thought I should be able to take that and put it straight in here, but that's not working for me. When I take that and plug it in here, the circuit just turns on automatically, and I don't know why. So whatever is going on with the 555 when I connect it here, like there is also like connected to this line as well, so that's R1. There is I'm sorry, I'm really bad at drawing circles. There is a 10 or pull down resistor, so it definitely shouldn't be floating high. Yeah, I'm not sure, like, sorry, analog electronics is not my forte whatsoever. Interesting though. I'll have to ask. So yeah, if I connect that directly here, it just turns on the circuit all the time, and I don't know why. But Michael's solution of the Opto isolator is working exactly as I wanted to, which is good. So yeah, I'm happy enough to kind of finish there with this. Yeah. Yeah, so I actually think I'd like to make this into a board. I've got the board bug now, because we use those battery powered LEDs at Christmas a lot, in terms of like just like lighting up jars and stuff like that. And even I have them in a few kind of fancy like bottles, like Grey Goose bottles and stuff. Now, it looks really nice, but it would be nice to just have, you know, kind of a board that you just press the button and it stays on for an hour or whatever and then turns off. So yeah, I might design up something for that. There is one problem. The 555s, they only go down to 4.5 volts, so there is a lower voltage one, which I need to look into and order. Low voltage 555, that's easy. LMC 555. So like that goes down as far as 1.5 volts, and it's still up to 15 volts, which is pretty good. Like, and they aren't any more expensive on AliExpress really, and it's a pin for pin replacement, which is perfect. So like the problem is that I can't actually test this out with my actual with the actual lights, because there's only 3 batteries, AA batteries, which is like, even if they were brand new, is right on the limit of the minimum of the 555 timer I have. And also I use rechargeable batteries, which is even lower again. So like 3 rechargeable batteries is probably only 3.6 volts, maybe a little bit higher right at the start. So yeah, I'm happy enough that when I get the lower voltage one, it'll work for me, but I can't actually test out the circuit. So I can test out that it works there or whatever, but yeah, so I might actually use a simulator or something like that. Yeah, charge pump 5-volt regulator. Yeah, that could also work too, but I'd like to keep it as simple as possible. Yeah, that'd be interesting, Michael, if you get a chance. Like, I think it would just make a nice small cheap board, and yeah, Sloan Star says get a bit of street cred for making a project with a 555 timer. So like, what I'm thinking is just like it has a potentiometer, or maybe even a couple of potentiometers. So you know, you've better adjustment of the time it takes or whatever for the thing to die. Yeah, so a couple of potentiometers in series making up the one for the capacitor charging, and yeah, and then maybe a couple of screw terminals, one for the input power, so like you connect your batteries to the input and then output would go to the LEDs or whatever, and like it could be used for other stuff too. I'm not sure exactly what you'd use it for, but seems okay to me. Be a bit of fun. You can't give accurate timings for the like resistance to time value. Like the time is the time it takes for the circuit to turn off. So like this is like 8 seconds or 10 seconds or something like that. It is a product of the resistor and the size of the capacitor, but I guess it's also a product of the voltage, maybe? Is it? No, it probably isn't actually. So there probably is a way of calculating out exactly how long that is. So yeah, that's one for the back burner. Anyways, we'll take a look at that some other time. Thanks so much everybody for helping me solve that. So now let's take a look at the... No, I was actually thinking that, well, the tolerances would be something. I was actually thinking that what was I thinking? That the voltage would, the voltage would impact, but it probably doesn't, because I think the capacitor will trigger the 555 when it reaches 2/3 charged. So it doesn't matter if your voltage was 5 volts or 3 volts, like the capacitor getting to the 2/3 charged would be the same. Like it would charge, like the voltage would charge slower if it was 3 volts as opposed to 5 volts, but the target it needs to reach is lower. Yeah, I must try out the... Yeah, like I was thinking about an Esp8266 trigger, and I was kind of wondering, is there a scenario where it wouldn't just be it wouldn't just be easier to, like, when you do the same idea, like as in you press that button that closes a transistor or something, and then like a pin of the microcontroller keeps the circuit on until you want to turn it off. I think that was your original use of the project, Hassiter, wasn't it? That you had the bath thermometer that you press the button. It's actually a really nice project. You should check out Michael's Twitter. It's super nice. I don't know. It's kind of buried in the conversations with me though. Let me link to the tweet if you don't mind, Michael, or do you mind? Okay, where are we? Yeah, let me link to a copy link to tweet. So yeah, it's a cool idea. So it looks to be a nano underneath an OLED screen, and basically Michael is pressing the button, it turns on the nano, I'm guessing, and then the nano decides after a certain time it turns off the circuit, so it doesn't draw any power until that button has been pressed. So like I think that's pretty cool. So cool project. Speaking of cool projects, I was also looking on Twitter, and there is a pizza box clock written by somebody in the chat. See you, Subtext. Gavin, but Weigenevag. Backwards Gavin. Oh jeez, there must be more than one pizza box clock. Oh, there it is. So yeah, make sure to check that out. It's pretty cool. It's made using pizza boxes and tin foil and LED strips. So it was funny, even before I saw you mention, Gavin, about Fran's lab, like once I saw this picture I was like, oh, that's kind of like the Fran lab idea. So yeah, that was cool. So yeah, make sure to check that out and vote for it in the clock competition. So yeah, no, it is. It's really nice. Yeah, so my first ever PCB. Let me move the grids to be a bit bigger than that. You're welcome, Gavin. Kind of messy here. We might pull it into we might pull it into the Gerber viewer of. Does Eagle have a Gerber viewer? I was just using JL PCB's Gerber viewer to see it, but this is a really simple project, really simple. So there's a small issue with my 3D printer and Octoprint that. So Octoprint is running on a computer, or normally it runs on a Raspberry Pi, but I'm running it on a computer. Normally you want to keep your computer on all the time. So like it's ready to rock when you are, and you don't need to boot it up to load an STL onto it or whatever. Or sorry, G-code. Aren't you loading G-code onto Octoprint? Yep. So that's fine, except I don't know if it's for everyone's printer. I think it affects a lot of printers anyways. That like, so I power off the power to my printer, but my main board of my printer stays on, because it's still receiving 5 volts. There are 2 vias inside your upper left USB pads. There is, and I don't know how they got there or why they're there, but it looks fine in the Gerber viewer, so I think it should be okay. I don't know how that happened. I even tidied it up at one stage because I found loads of vias in it, and then I tidied it up and I ended up with the 2 vias, and I was like, but like they're holes anyways. Yeah. I'll fix it some other time. Hey, just Dave, how's it going? Yeah, I'll fix it some other time. They're already ordered, so I'm not going to touch this until I find out whether the thing fits or not. Yeah, they shouldn't be there, but they're not going to cause any harm, right? Joe Bilo in the house. Yeah, so that's fine. So the problem is that like when I turn off the power to my printer, so when I turn off the power to my printer's screen stays on because it's still receiving 5 volts over the USB cable from the Octoprint printer. So I don't need my printer to get 5 volts from the PC, the Octoprint PC. So one thing you can do is you can cut the V plus on the USB cable, as Sil has just mentioned below. But that's kind of invasive, right? That like you need to wreck a USB cable to do that. And also if you want to use a different printer or whatever, like if you change printer and it has a different like USB socket, then you have to wreck another cable. So rather than wrecking cables, I thought that this would be a nice solution to the problem. So this is called the power blocker. Lock is there. Maybe it would help if hide some layers and show some layers. Yeah, be vias, and yeah, there's those two vias. Yeah, so this probably is a bit cleaner way of seeing it. So so this side here is going to have a male USB plug on it. So that's going to plug directly into your computer. And then this side here is going to have a female USB plug on it. And that's going to plug into your, or the cable from your printer that would normally plug into your computer is going to plug into this. And then if we take a look at the layers again and we bring in the top layer, you can see that I've connected ground and D plus and D minus, but I have not connected V plus. So it is not connected. So it is the same thing as cutting the wire on your cable to the 3D printer, except it's not invasive whatsoever. So yeah, I'd never made a PCB before, as pointed out by the fact that I've hidden vias inside my holes here, and I just wanted to get one under my belt. So yeah, so I thought that this would be an interesting solution to the problem. It isn't really a big deal for me. I just normally plug out the printer, like from the USB, but so we'll see how this works out. So maybe they might end up on Tindy or something, I don't know. Hopefully. I did not see the PCBs you made on Twitter. Do you mind linking to them? While I'm looking for that, let me go to Twitter. And we'll take a look at the I uploaded the, yeah, here we go. Yeah, so here is the Gerber viewer from what are they called again? JLC PCB. Yeah, so pretty simple looking, and then some text on the back here. So yeah, should be interesting. We'll see how it works out. Could be awful. We'll see. They're cool. What are they for? I see some MOSFET looking things. Are they motor drivers? I see a lot of MOSFETs. I see a PWM controller in the back there. I suppose I should probably show you what I'm looking at here. I like the logo. The Glockenbot. Oh, is it playing a musical instrument or something? Robot xylophone. Cool. Nice. Where did you get the PCBs printed up? Also, I'm jealous of your Prusia. Okay, so oops. The thing I would like to make on the stream, basic PCB, cool. Yeah, I don't know if I can get them made locally anywhere. Yeah, so the thing I would like to do on the stream is I would like to, I'm just going to turn off the monitor, sure. So I'd like to build a tester. So we're going to have some form of Arduino here, and then connected to the Arduino on one side is going to be I don't know, does that look anything like a male USB? And then on the other side, well, it doesn't have to be the other side, it could be anything. Let's draw a little, like, I don't know, does that look anything like a female USB? Doesn't matter. Male, oops, female. Alright, so yeah, basically I want to plug, so this will be a tester. I'm going to plug in the power blocker into this, so the male into the female port, the female into the male port, and I want to run a suite of tests on it. And the tests are basically going to be that, hey, Tiny LED Metrics, thanks for the sub, I really appreciate it, especially after my shame of having hidden vias in my cutouts. Yeah, so like, just the obvious test would be that V plus is not connected. So there's a connection for ground. So say we'll attach ground to pin 1, D plus to pin 2, D minus to pin 3, and then V plus to pin 4, and then we'll have the other side as an input. So like we'll output high on all the pins and we'll expect 3 of the 4 pins to come back as high here and be low on the other one. So we'll have to have pulled down resistors or whatever. Or yeah, maybe it'd be the other way around, because with say something like an ESP, which I've tons of, like I probably have more Esp8266s than anything, so I might just use that. You can use the built-in pull-up resistor, so yeah, maybe I pass low on all of them and expect low, and yeah, so that's the obvious one. And then maybe also do a test on each one individually then as well. So like turn on a signal to the ground pin, and make sure that that signal is only coming back on the ground pin on the other side. So pretty simple thing, but like it's a verification that I haven't made any bridges with the soldering of them or whatever. Not really a big deal. Like it should be pretty easy to verify that just by sight. But yeah. Now the only thing is that I do not have a male and female connector. They're on the way. Also from China, so I can't actually use a male and female connector here, but we can write the code for it. It should be pretty straightforward, and we could just use a breadboard for the moment, and then like install. You can actually get like USB breakout boards, which would actually work as the blocker if you got 2 of them and just like wired them together. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so let's grab a breadboard and Wemos and see how we get on. Colin, my printer is currently over there. It's G-Tech aluminium i3 kit. Where am I going? No, come back. G-Tech aluminium i3 kit, but my wife's printer is an A6 and it's in a box in here. I think maybe this weekend is a bank holiday in Ireland, so probably make it this weekend. Don't think I'm gonna bother to record it. I don't think anybody wants to see a cheap printer from 2017 being made. Like, I don't think there'll be a big demand for that, so I'm just not gonna bother. It's also probably going to take like 6 hours too, which I'm not looking forward to. Yeah. That's interesting, actually, Colin. Yeah, I actually do have like a extension cable, but like the things that I have are like male USB on a PCB with like holes in it, you know, for the breakout wires, and I've ordered one for male and one for female. So I think like that would make a better connection than cutting the, you know, like I find USB wires, when you cut them, the like internal wires are tiny, and it's like hard to strip them, and like they'd be hard to solder and stuff as well. So I think I might just go down this route. I was thinking about that, so I don't normally put on music on my channel or anything like that, but I was thinking about doing it maybe. No, not for the USB board. That'd be pretty short time lapse. Be like done. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Just solder straight through the thing. I'm sure it'll melt when you put a soldering iron near it. Yeah, so like I think these boards will be better anyways. Like I'm thinking as well, I could, you know, one of them I could mount with right angle header pins. So like I guess if I had a, I don't know, if this was my PCB, if it was right angled headers, the USB header would be pointing up, or this breakout board would be pointing up, so I'd slot the blocker in, and then I'd have the other one attached with wires, and I'd slot that in top, so I'd have a nice yeah. Maybe I won't use a Wemos actually, because I won't have room for a screen if I use a Wemos. I'll be using all the pins. Like there's 9 digital pins, and I need 4 for inputs and 4 for outputs. So yeah, Ivan Miranda does a great job. But the problem with doing any form of time lapses or anything is that I'd like my wife to help make the printer, and I don't think she wants to be on camera. So that would, I don't think so. Anyways, so that would probably be a no-no. What I really should use for this project actually is this. I think it might be too big of a stretch for right now, but for the finished one, maybe I should use this. Oh, hey, Rob. So I've made a PCB. No, sorry, I've got one ordered. And it's for stripping the 5 volts off your it's for stripping the 5 volts off your wire that goes to your 3D printer. Yeah, so like if you've got Opto print or whatever, when you turn off your printer's power supply, your printer actually turns off rather than like the screen staying on, because it's getting power from your Octoprint PC. Yeah, so that's basically it. Cool. I will definitely save that and check it out. The other Lone Star, my mouse is gonna sleep. Yeah, no, that's super cool. Let me log into Hackaday.io and follow that project. Ah, why would you do this to me? I pressed the login button when I was on your page, the Twitch chat notification, and then join the project. Oops, I didn't mean to press join the project. That's fine. Hit that skill button. Oh, skull button. Okay, that's sorted now anyways. So yeah, check that out anyways. It's pretty cool. So he is getting the Twitch messages directly on the Esp8266. So for the drawing on the Twitch matrix, I was doing it via computer command. So I am not an elitist when it comes to code whatsoever, Like, I completely accept that people just are doing the stuff in their own time and whatever. So, like, nothing is gonna make me cringe when I look at that stuff. Like, I am a software developer, but like most of my code is crap too because I'm just doing it in a rush. Sometimes I'm doing it on streams, and yeah, that's no excuse, but still. But like, you know, while I'm on Hackaday, that's pretty cool. I considered doing this. I even found some like libraries for it, but I thought that it wouldn't be as good. And Dave, you asked about a 5-volt switch. I thought about that too, and I decided to not go for it. The main reason being that I couldn't find a good small switch that was capable of running like 500 milliamps, and really you probably want to be capable of running more than that. So I was kind of thinking, hey, what's the point? Like, how many scenarios are there where you need to enable the 5 volts back in, where you now need to go back to where the PC is anyways, and like just plug the power blocker out and plug the USB cable in if you need to. It's a load of boards, but you can probably botch a switch and 2 cables to it. Yeah. Thanks for joining again, Tiny LED Metrics. Appreciate it, and thanks for the sub. Enjoy the sleep. Yeah, so I just decided that I wouldn't bother. That may have been the wrong thing to do. So yeah, actually, I'm thinking I have 2 of these, which is the Atmel 328P, so the Uno chip, basically. I have 2 of them, and I'm pretty sure I have a crystal for it, or oscillator. I think they take a 16 megahertz oscillator. Yeah, but like the scenario where you would need to do that is rare. Like super rare. Unless it was for something else. Yeah, I just couldn't find a switch. If you find me a switch, I will make a V2. How about that? It also, like, it increases the cost of the project significantly, just having an extra thing in it. So, like, I don't know exactly what else you need to make up a bare bones Uno, but I'm pretty sure they're the 2 main things. A few capacitors and resistors, I'm sure. You are more than welcome to a V1 board. I will gladly send you one, and I'm pretty sure that... Oh crap. Damn. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I have your address, but I don't think I do. No, I don't. Hey Thanos TV, I scribbled it out so that like I wouldn't show your address if I went to show that package. I haven't even opened it, but it's scribbled out. So whoops. Hey Thanos, so basically I've made up a PCB, and what it's for is yeah, I have a load of ceramic capacitors, so it should be okay. So I might just use the Uno for now, or I might use that Uno since it has a micro USB port and it's already plugged in. So Thanos, I should update my update my description actually. So the description refers to a 555 auto shutdown thing. So when I press this button, well, I'll plug it in. Why not? I'll demo it. That's kind of what you're meant to do on streams, right? There's ground. There's 5 volts. So the Uno has just been used for power there. There's no connections to this board at all. So there's a 555 timer here. So when this button is pressed, it closes that transistor over there, which like lets power into the circuit. And then the 555 timer has an output, which is keeping that transistor closed. And then when this capacitor charges, it will flip the 555 timer over, which will turn that transistor off, which will kill power to itself. See you, Leo. Thanks for joining. So the idea is that I'd make a bigger resistor here so that time is longer, and what I'd use it for is powering. My daughter has LEDs that she leaves on all the time, so it would be handier if it was just one single button press and it turned off after maybe like 10 minutes or something. So I kind of finished that project for the moment, and what I'm going to work on now is that I made a PCB, or I've ordered a PCB, which is basically a little adapter for USB cables for your printer. So there's a male connection one side and a female connection the other. Here's the Gerber files. So male one side and a female the other, but it just doesn't connect the 5 volts cable between the two of them. So it cuts it's the same as cutting the 5 volt wire inside your cable, but it's a whole lot less intrusive. And what I'd like to do is build a tester to make sure that, you know, so basically I'd connect these pins to microcontroller, and I'd, you know, send the signal out on this pin and make sure that it comes back on this pin or whatever. So yeah, it would have been a decent homemade PCB project. I am mad about the idea of like chemicals and stuff in the house. Just my daughter's at an age where she's very curious and stuff, and I'd find it hard to like find time to not try poison her or get her to pull stuff down on herself. So like, and also like I like the idea of sticking these up on Tindy and just seeing if they do anything or whatever. Yeah. And like, so I'm gonna do a review on JLC PCB as well when I get them. Like it was panelized, and I got like 200 of them for $14, which is 7 cents each. Like, even the $14 part, I would have spent more time than I feel $14 is worth to me on making a PCB by myself. Yeah, that's the like, I don't have any of this stuff, even like a tub to put the alcohol or whatever is in it, I probably don't even have. So I'd have to buy everything, and yeah, so I was just happy enough to get them ordered. Those small switches, Gavin, I have them, but they are not suitable for 500 milliamps. It's acid, even better. You know, I wouldn't have the tubs for it, so yeah, everything would have been extra. So yeah, I'm gonna just do it with the Uno, because I actually think it would be a good project then when I'm happy with it to use up one of these, because I have them and I have the oscillators for them. Why not? Seems like a okay thing to me, and I can use this Uno as a programmer. Yeah, so that'll be kind of fun. Okay, cool. So it's a pretty simple project. But man, I haven't actually used an Uno in yonks, like as in used an Uno properly. Do you ever see that homemade Uno with all floating traces, no board? No. Oh, are they? Yeah. I must check that out. I haven't seen ones that were rated for 500 milliamps. That were small as well. See, the other thing that a Switch does as well is that I was thinking that like as a cover for it, that I wouldn't print anything, that I could just put heat shrink on it, and if you had a Switch, I couldn't do that. So it adds more complication all the time, and you gotta leave them wanting more. And it was also just keep it simple, stupid, like as in, you know, it was just a case of I just want to get this ordered. Dave actually helped me out on I think it was Saturday. Oh yeah, wow. That's super interesting. I think it was Saturday I was doing it, or maybe it was Sunday. Oh, Pinterest, stop. Why does everything want notifications? Gavin, you can post into Twitch. There's no hassles with that. That's super cool. Yeah, I won't be making that though. Even though that one's cool too. I see my. Yeah. So, what was I talking about? Yeah, switches, Arduinos. Yes, Arduinos. See, isn't this great? Twitch, so good. I don't think they're rated for 500 milliamps, are they? It says that they are. But is 500 milliamps good enough for a USB cable? So I know, like, normally they only used 500 milliamps. But, like, it's possible for them to do more than that. Like, I have those switches here. Or at least something pretty similar to them. But I wasn't sure. And you see, it also kind of, like, then you have to put in that caveat, right? As in, don't use this with whatever, like, as in, yeah, don't use it as a charger, or don't, you know, some people are like, oh, I could use this to flick off my USB whatever, and, you know, it mightn't work out, so. That's the other thing as well. Like, if something from China says that it's rated for 10 amps, I'm putting a 5 amp fuse on it, because I don't want to, like, I wouldn't, a 10 amp relay from China, I'm not putting more than 5 amps in it. It's just not happening. I just don't, I don't know, I don't trust it, so, yeah. It doesn't matter anyways. The files will be open source too, so if you want to make a blocker. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so Arduino. That's what we're here for, right? What is this? Dr. Bit serial print. Okay, new. Oh, man, it's been so long. Okay, so I guess we'll start with 1 and move on. So pin 2. No, should we do them all? So pin 2, 3, 4 and 5 will be my input pins, I guess. Right. Can anybody tell me if an Arduino Uno has pull-up pins? Hey, Yuz, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. It's I'm how's it going with you, Yuz? Thanks for joining. So yeah, my wife was very fond of you after the stream last week. She was happy that you put me in my place with the heat thing. She was like, oh, she was well able for you. I was like, I wasn't able for her. Yeah. They do. Okay, so I can just use internal pull-up. Cool. So let's just grab a Blink sketch and use that as my starter, because I haven't written a program in yonks. Okay, so we got our digital mode and our setups here. Have a good day, Yuz. Thanks for stopping by. Mounting sockets ears. So somebody said that to me on Twitter, and I was super worried about it because the order had already gone through, but I'm pretty sure that I'm right, and I'll show you why I think I'm right. If there were two male ones, you're right, they'd be the wrong way around. For sure. Hopefully yes. Yeah, hopefully the kids have a good day at school as well. Right, so this is why I think I'm right. And you can see I ordered some of these. So if you look at this picture here, ground is on the top. Right. So this is, if I was looking at my board, I would also have a male USB on top going off to the left. And then if you look at this board, this is a decent position, I would have a female USB on the right, on the top of the board. Or yeah, female USB going off to the right. And you can see ground is on top for that too. So if we take a look at both of these side by side, stop doing that. Yeah, that's even almost matching up there. You can see ground is connected to ground, D plus to D plus, D minus to D minus, and V bus to V bus, and the bottom one is not connected. So I think it should be okay. But man, I was worried when somebody said it to me on Twitter as well. It was like the guy who wrote the Time library, Paul Schrofer, is it? So like, who I have never interacted with on Twitter before. So I was like, oh crap. I actually ran the idea of my wife doing some of the editing on my postbag videos, and she said that she would like to do it. So postbag videos may be edited by Caroline sometime soon. If she heard me talking about that, then she'd probably just refuse to do it. So that's why I said that part quietly. Yeah, somebody was saying that on Twitter too, that I could just mount it upside down, like one of them upside down if it was the wrong way around, which I hadn't thought of, but I thought that was a good solution. But I'm pretty sure it's good. Like, that rationale seems pretty good, right? That pretty much, if you mash the two of them together, that would be my board. So, in fact, why am I even making a board? You could just buy these. Yeah. Caroline kind of has an interest in it. Maybe she'll make a channel at some stage. Pity our kid if if she does. Sion style. Oh, okay, so let's do USB pins. So hash defined ground male ground, I suppose makes more sense. Male ground, and we're gonna make that be, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that is a good point. Do you know what would have made it so much clearer as well is one of the parts in Eagle had pin numberings on it, like, you know, sorry, pin labels on it, like ground was ground and D plus was D plus and so on. The other one didn't. It was just 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I couldn't, you know, if they were labeled right, then I would have known for sure I was doing it right. But nah, sure, doesn't matter. Oops, male D plus, male D minus, and male VCC. Okay, so let's go 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's do female. I don't think I have a thing, do I? My thing should be that I'm really average at lots of stuff. I'd be happy if that was my thing. Where am I gonna save this? I guess I'll just save it as USB Blough-R tester. Blough-R tester. Do for the moment. I'll put it up on GitHub and stuff at some stage. Not that anybody else will want it, but for the... Okay. Right, so I'm gonna make all the male pins be outputs. And I am going to make all the female pins be built-in inputs. Or input pull up. Why, thank you. My Instructable t-shirt. I have no idea what this one is from. I don't know. I can't remember what colors were which ones. So I won one competition in Instructables and I placed in a few. Yeah, I placed for my LED map project. That was the first one I placed in. I think I might have placed twice in for the wedding lights. I'm not sure. I have 4 Instructables t-shirts, I think. I definitely have 3. Maybe I have 4. I can't remember. Yeah. That's nice. Caroline didn't get one with her 3D printer, actually. Maybe a 3D printer is enough. But I definitely got one with, like, my Mac, so I don't know. Maybe they're just moving away from t-shirts. Kind of makes sense in some ways because, you know, they had to, like, ask for sizes and stuff, so I don't know. I would have thought that she'd have gotten one, but yeah. Okay, so there's my setup. So I can just connect these pins directly to each other, actually. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect them. I probably should have left a gap between them or something. I'm going to connect them on the breadboard so we can kind of play around with this failing. Alright, so 6 is ground and 2 is ground, so that's green and blue. Should be touching off each other. I'm gonna actually plug this out for the minute. That shouldn't really make any difference. I probably should have a resistor between them, right? Even though it is input pull-up now, just in case. But I guess one GPIO pin can't overload another GPIO pin. I don't know. I'll plug them in separate to each other and then fix it later on if I need to. Anybody have any suggestions on whether one GPIO pin can overload another one? No, I don't like those. Oh, this purple will do, even though I'm already using a purple one. Okay, it'll probably be fine. Okay, so let's create a function. I don't think I need to do anything in the loop. Let's start the serial monitor as well. Serial dot begin. 9600 is a good speed for an Uno. So void. Let's do main test. So main test should do a digital. Also, David, welcome. Digital with a lowercase. Man, it's been so long since I wrote code. Digital write male ground, and we're gonna write that to be low. Well, actually, before I do any of that, what I'd like to do is make sure that my input pull-ups are working. So that would probably be the first thing that I want to do. So let's do int f ground. Let's do f ground. Oh, f ground equals digital read. So I'm expecting all of these to be high. Actually, I could just do is equal high. I'm gonna make this bool. Actually, I don't even need to make a bool, right? I should just expect all of these to be true. So if no, it'll be too big. F ground. You see, I actually want it to fail, like as in not run the other tests. Yes. That should be right. So do I want to expect it to be high? F ground I'll do is expected. Yeah, so like what I'd like to be able to do is get it at stages. So it's like, you know, I'm gonna do an if here, and it's gonna be like, it failed the initial test. You know, the initial values were not as it wasn't high as expected or whatever. D plus. And to be honest, actually, this should be its own test, like its own method. VCC. So let's actually do that as its own method. So void initial state test. And then we'll do. Actually, let's return a boolean here. Bool. So let's return and I guess, do I want to return a boolean there? Yeah, I probably do, but I actually want to do a check on it too, because I'll lose which one is wrong. If that is expected, I return true. So that's if all of them are true, I return true. Else I want to say serial dot println failed initial state test failed. And then we can just do it's not exactly what I want. Serial print line. That's closer to what I want. For each one of these, copied more than I wanted it to, but that's fine. Oh, it didn't. Better go fix the copy paste. David, if you're still on as well, I actually thought your cricket sounded really good. Like you were saying it sounded crap, and that you found one that was good, but you decided to stick with your own. It was way better than I expected it to be. Like, if you told me that that was the good one you found online, I'd be like, wow, that is a good cricket sound. So good job. Okay. And we're gonna return false. Okay, so that will, let's test that works, I guess, would be the main thing to do. So initial state test. I actually haven't gotten to the end of that video yet. I could have lied and said, yeah, I did, but no, I was minding Sive yesterday, and I don't know, she didn't want to watch you anymore. She's only 2, so I wouldn't take offense to it, but she doesn't want to watch me either. Like, if I hand her my phone with like me on, she will instantly turn it off. Instantly. It's pretty Embarrassing. Okay. No, I thought it sounded exactly like I would expect a cricket to sound from that little speaker. I'm definitely like 7 or 8 minutes in. I'll even show you how far I'm in on it. Like, I definitely didn't just watch your watch for the cricket noise and leave. Where am I now? No, I won't actually, because it doesn't look like I'm in at all. I definitely did watch it. Well, like the first half of it. I'm disappointed now. No, she just wants to watch whatever crap. Man, I'd actually love if I was like a YouTuber that made videos on anything else, because I would love to make a video on the crap that she watches. Actually, let's take a look at my history and see. Barry White. Where do we see history on the... Oh, that's my channel. No, I want to see... I do not know how to use YouTube. I watch YouTube on my phone more than anywhere, so I do not know how to use it at all. I don't know. Crap Cricket is not there. What did I watch it on? Well, she must have been watching videos on my phone too much, because they're all pretty normal. No. Don't know. Maybe it just ignores her stuff. Anyways, she watches absolute garbage. It's all like computer generated stuff. There's a lot of colorful balls on it and stuff, but like, it is literally the worst crap you will ever see. Like, it's zero, like some of it there is some effort put in, but most of it is zero effort. Like, it would take you 5 minutes to make in Unity or something. And slide whistles and stuff are a big thing that seems to grab her attention. Like, they have to make exaggerated noises, and there's loads of videos that have like microwaves, and they put something into the microwave and it spins around and something else comes out. She loves that. Loves it. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It is honestly crazy to see the stuff that she likes. And what's weird, like what's crazy as well, like, so we don't let her watch the phone a huge amount, but like when we're changing her nappy and stuff, we do, and like she could put on what she wants. Like, so I give her it, and I give her it, and like I put on a Winnie the Pooh video, and she used to like watching Winnie the Pooh, but she doesn't like watching it anymore. She likes the garbage stuff. So like, she'll get the phone and straight away she'll swipe up from the bottom on it, and like it brings up a little menu of stuff, and she'll like scroll to see one that she wants and then clicks on that, and then she'll skip the ad for wish.com that comes up every single time for some reason. Like, she'll literally be pressing the button to skip the ad straight away, and it's like, what? Like, she's not even 2, so yeah, I don't know. Like, there's probably not a hope of me being able to keep up with her technology wise. Okay, so let's run this. It's down as an Uno. That's her. Or it's not down as an Uno. Probably need to fix that. Yes. Okay, let's burn this. Yeah. Mailbag for kids. Oh, what did I do wrong here? Return false. And let's do Control T to fix it up a little bit. suppose I should put in a past or something. Initial state test. Oh yeah, I forgot how fast Uno's to upload. It's like instant. What's a third parent phone holder? I can't remember. I don't know if I'm missing something on that. I don't know what a third parent phone holder is. Is it something you had in your channel before? What's going on here? Well, I guess it doesn't serial print out if it passed, so that's probably what's happening. So let's do initial state test. And then let's do passed. I think I did see that before, actually. Do you have a link to it? Okay, so alright, so let's upload that again and make sure that it works. Let's design a 3D printed phone holder shaped like a dinosaur. What do you use for your 3D designs? Fusion? I haven't really moved past Tinkercad. I did use RS Components one, which I thought was pretty good. That's actually, I am going to print that off for myself. Never mind. Never mind for her. I'd actually find that quite useful on my desk at work or something. It's a cuter phone holder than the one I have. Ooh, there's contraband Kinder eggs in New York. What part of New York are you from? The other Lone Star. I did a J1 visa there a few years ago. It's more than a few years ago. Queens. I was in Woodlawn, which is, I presume, you know, it's the north of Bronx. It's not a myth, anyways. The reason why they are not allowed is because there can't be toys embedded in food. Because I remember even seeing on Shark Tank that somebody had a patent for like this stuff that had like the plastic thing had a little lip on it, so that the egg was like a Kinder egg, wasn't actually enclosing it. It was kind of pushed up against the lip, so you know it didn't enclose it. It was just around it. So it was kind of the same thing, and he was talking about he had a patent for it, so you know, and they were talking about it being an actual thing. So I don't know if maybe it's just one of those laws that nobody cares about. Like, who's gonna complain if they see a Kinder egg in a shop or a store or whatever? Yeah, no, I was in Woodlawn, which is the north of the Bronx. It was good. I was there in 2007. Yeah, it was a good time. I worked in an apartment building in Fifth Avenue as well. Kind of interesting, actually. On my first day, I don't know if I ever talked about this in the stream before, but on my first day, I was talking to like the other guy who worked there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Does anyone famous live here? Because it was a rich apartment building, like, and he goes, oh yeah, Tom Hanks lives here. I was like, no, he doesn't. No, Tom Hanks did live there. Yeah, he was there maybe like 3 or 4 times throughout the summer. But yeah, he actually lived there. Super nice guy. Like, super nice. Like, as in, we weren't meant to talk to the guests unless they spoke to us first. And he, like, when he came into the elevator, he was like, oh, hi, I'm Tom, and this is my son Truman. Like, what's your name? You know, I was like, oh my god. Yeah, so yeah, it's my claim to fame. I met Tom Hanks a couple of times. Yeah, okay, so initial state test. Let's do main test. So the main test, I am going to digital write some pins to be low. Oops. And I would expect, see, we're still going. Yeah, we're still propagating this garbage out to the internet and wasting all Twitch's bandwidth. Kind of feels like it's going that way at the moment, to be honest. I know, we'll just get this simple test working, and I'd be pretty happy, because it's pretty late. I actually have been up since 4:40 this morning. It is currently 11:23:30, so I've been up quite a long time, actually, and I don't drink coffee anymore, so you know you're in for a bad time. So I expect female VCC to be high, and I would expect all the rest of them to be low, because I'm after writing low to all of them there. Right, so this should fail at the moment because the wires aren't actually connected to each other. There's a gap in the breadboard. Main test seems like a terrible name, but I don't know what else to call it, so that's fine. I'm watching Band of Brothers again. I don't know if I presume people here have seen it. It's so good. It is probably my favorite TV show. It's incredible. Did I make this bigger or smaller? I don't know what I did there. Maybe I should pass that in, because this seems to be code repeated over and over again. Yeah. Void. Yeah, House I have watched all of as well. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it got a bit, like, I did enjoy it a huge amount, but like I definitely enjoyed the first like couple of series more than the later ones. I don't know if you the IT crowd for the 100th time. Yeah, I've seen all that too. I've never been a big Star Trek fan, actually. Well, to be honest, I've never really watched it, so like it's hard to be a fan if you haven't given it a try. But yeah, I really should be putting all of this stuff into method, because I'm gonna be duplicating it. But anyways, I started watching Great Scott's video. I started watching Great Scott's latest video, the Q&A one. I liked how he was answering questions about German stereotypes. And I liked how we talked about it on a stream, like it could be months ago now, but some of them I brought up as well. Like you were asking me, like you were asking me what were German stereotypes, and I was like organization. That was the first one, and then the going down and taking the pool beds early. That was the other one that we said. So it wasn't me just being mean to Germans. That is the common thought. Well, I was being mean to Germans too. That goes without saying. Okay, so let's upload this. Have I added it to the setup? I haven't. I'm a fool. I'll do if statements on them at some stage. I guess it doesn't really matter. Done uploading, man, it's so fast. Okay, so it failed, which is good. So VCC was expected and the rest of them weren't. Expected. Yeah, that's terrible, but anyways, let's get rid of expected. Oh, that's the problem. That should be here. That's fine. Okay, so that worked as expected, that it failed. So now if I connect them to each other, and press the reset button, it should fail for the other reason, right? Main test. I don't have fail in the. At least it's failing. Because the 5-volt line is connected. I may as well just finish off this. I'm wreck tired, but like still, the amount of work that's left to finish this off is nothing, so I'll just do it, I guess. Yes. Actually, I won't. Why would I do that? I don't. I normally just buy whatever one. Your computer doesn't recognize them. That sucks. Yes. Well, no, we're building a tester for the power blocker. That like, so this is failing now, right? Because VCC is connected. But if I move them off there and rerun the same test, it should pass. So, like, it's just to verify that VCC isn't connected, number one, and all the rest of them are connected. And then what I also want to do that I haven't done yet, one thing you can do so instead of doing that, the other Lone Star, so what you're doing there is you're forcing it into bootloader mode, or you're trying to get it to be in bootloader mode when the code starts uploading. If you connect D3 to ground, you will actually force it into bootloader mode, so you don't need to do anything with the timing, or sorry, initialization. Yeah, no, it's bootloader mode. I don't know, but yeah, if you have a problematic Wemos that won't upload stuff to it, then that is a good way of forcing it. Yeah, no, it sounds like your boards are faulty, for sure. David, you can pull the stream off topic all you want. Okay, so here, let's have a look at what let's have a look at the crap I do be buying. So like I bought 5 off this crowd. I kind of tend to just buy them off whoever. Hey, Mr. Anderson, how's it going? I have a pretty decent stock of them now. I haven't, like, I bought 5 in January, and I'm probably not going to buy any more now because I have 5, and I even have loads of them left over from the Wi-Fi or the wedding lights project. Like I have 9 of these. Like that, I could really just recover the ESP off because they're not doing anything. So I'm probably never going to buy another Wemos. Yeah, it's not because I don't like them. I love them still. But I have 5 unpopulated Wemoses, and yeah, there's 3 revs or 4 revs of the official one, but like I haven't bought an official one in quite some time. I bought an official one a few times, and then they increased the shipping. So like it used to be the official one was like $4, and then the official one was $4, and like a clone was $260. And that was okay, but then they brought in shipping for the real ones. So now it wasn't like $4 versus $260. It was $260 versus like $6 or $7. And like even ordering multiples, I don't think it was even that much cheaper. Yeah, or maybe it was just one set. I don't know. I that was 2016 was the last time I bought an official Wemos. So I've just been buying clones. If you want, David, I can send you a link to the last place I bought them, but it was January 2000, like of this year. So I don't know if they're still selling good ones or not. But I bought 5 of them off them. I don't even know if I've tested all these 5, but any ones I've tried have worked. Yeah, it like. Yeah, if the USB serial is shagged, then why not? You could, if you wanted to, program them using something else, but that just seems more hassle than it's worth. Now, it's not a driver issue if Windows doesn't boop when he plugs it in. It's this, there's something wrong with the board. Like, I think I told you about that before, didn't I? See, on you had some ones that weren't programming and that D3 thing. It was funny, like on Reddit, I replied to a guy like 4 or 5 days ago to do that, and like he got back yesterday saying, "Oh wow, this actually worked. Thanks a lot." I'm like, "You're welcome." Yeah. Have you tried another cable? Yeah. Cable is a possibility. I've definitely had cables not work, but would they not work for one board, not for the other? Maybe. Like, yeah, maybe they're more power hungry. So, yeah. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna finish up here. I'll finish off this. I'll finish off this tester at some stage, and I think it might actually make a nice project to use one of these Arduino chips that I bought. I don't know how. Actually, while we're in my AliExpress, what are these things called? 32 UFs? 328P. Is that right? November 2016. So it's coming up on 2 years since I bought this chip, and we might actually do something with it. I'm actually, like, I've been looking at some of the stuff I have in like my boxes of stuff, and I don't know if I can point to it. I need to hide one thing. I don't know if I showed that on screen or not. I forgot about the other one. Doesn't matter, I wouldn't have shown too much of it. Yeah, so all that stuff up there. I have tons of stuff that, like, I'm like, what the hell is that? I say I have these ones labeled IC, like 4558D. I have 10 of them. I don't know what to do. I have a few multiplexers. I know what they do. These are my 555 timers. I've actually used one of them. Yeah, OTA is a great idea, actually, because if you can flash them at all, then that's great. That's actually something I need to do too. I've ones labeled MISC. I have inverters. I haven't used any of these. Like, I should probably make like a couple of streams a month be like, do something with the crap you have up in your component drawers that you've never used. So yeah. Okay guys, I'm gonna finish up. Thanks a lot for joining, really appreciate it. Yeah, it was kind of a different stream today. Hopefully it was okay. Yeah, I'll see you next Saturday if you'd like to join, and then Monday nights Sion will be streaming on YouTube tomorrow. Make sure to check him out if you are in for some streams. Do I have a link to Sion's channel? I don't. Too handy. Where is it? Unexpected Maker. I'm sure everybody on is subscribed to it anyways. I will let you know. I'll tag you for sure. Hey, and Mr. Anderson, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. I know you didn't get to catch too much towards the end there, but yeah, next time hopefully we'll be able to do some more. Right, thanks guys. I'll see you again. Bye bye.